Yeah, hey traders, welcome to the week ahead. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. We know that the information in this video is for educational purposes only. We also understand that by watching this video, you accept full responsibilities for any decisions you make regarding your trades, your profit or loss results, and agree not to hold the distributors of this video series liable for any of the information shared. Right, let's get that out of the way and get straight into it. We had an interesting week last week, and I want to start with the Aussie pairs. We'll start from the Aussies and go right through. But last week we talked about whether this was going to be a bottom or not on the Aussie CAD. And, you know, you've just got to be so careful with getting caught up in the rhetoric of commentators and would-be educationals, etc., etc. And we talked about this level here being the key support area. We talked about possible trade here, which we were able to take last week. And then we also talked about this level being the key support area. Now, I'm looking for a bottom on this. And just because I want a bottom, I don't need to make assumptions that we've arrived yet, because this pair can go a lot lower. This pair can come right down into here before it turns around. We're in a downtrend, so you know, think about it. You know, the rhetoric that we hear about the trend is your friend. Well, the trend is truly your friend. And if you're taking the trend off the higher time frames like monthly, weekly, you've got a fairly good guide as to what this pair is doing. Bear in mind that the Aussie economy is not doing great at the moment. So I'm looking at this for a potential bottom. Now, I'm holding trades at the moment, just a couple of second positions, and I have my stop losses in place, so I get stopped out, but I can't lose this trade. I would expect this to hit down into here, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe some more sideways movement like this, but right now we're still in a downtrend. There is no evidence as yet that we've bottomed out. Aussie Swiss, very similar. This was the trade here that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And you can see that we're out of that trade now. This was the entry, and we watched it come up here over a couple of weeks. Very slow move of this, and it didn't even get to this key area of resistance, and it's dropped back down here, and it looks like it's testing this area again. So let's go back to the monthly and have a look to see where we are in the big picture. You can see that this is historical lows here. I don't want to be in any trade north until I get some sort of a bullish confirmation, like something like this here. We have to wait and see. I mean, this is the monthly chart, and is this level going to hold? And if this level is going to hold, then we may have a chance to get into a trade and hold it. That's what I'm looking at. That's my trade idea. Bearing in mind that we've had a major pullback so far this month from this area. Look at it. And you come back down to a daily chart, which is what I center everything around in terms of what I do. And you can see how it's moved up and come back down. So there's no trade here. Aussie JPY, no trade. You know, here was a trend line break if you wanted to go and do a retest of the backside of the trend line. But look where it stopped. Key resistance. Look for these areas where prices reacted before. You know, don't get caught up in all the rhetoric and nonsense that's around. You know, just because it's broken a trend line doesn't mean to say it's going to come on down here. It could come up and retest this. You've got to wait until the market tells you and shows you which direction it's going to go. So there's no trade. Aussie New Zealand just going sideways. Here's the range, so be careful. What you need is a close above here if you're thinking of going long. Aussie USD. If you have a look at the dollar index, you'll notice that there's been a key breakout above areas of resistance. And so, just keep an eye on it. If we go and have a look at the big picture on the Aussie USD, there's a number of commentators suggesting because of a pattern or because of something else that we got to get a turn and we got to go higher. Right now, we're in a downtrend. Make no mistake about it. And this is the potential bottom. Here's the historical lows here. And just because we've had a run down through here in January and February looks like it's slowing up, doesn't mean to say we're going to get a pullback, and it doesn't mean to say we're going to get a move up. The Aussie dollar is weak at the moment. If we come and have a look here at the dollar index, you can see what's happening here. So wait for the market to confirm what it wants to do. Anybody's guess. This month or this last week we had the dollar moving up, and what has it done? It's moved back down here, but this area of 99 is holding. And if this area holds and we get some sort of bullish signal this week, this has the potential to go higher. It has the potential to strengthen. There are a lot of factors in play around the US dollar at the moment. We've got primary election result, not primary, the Democrats will know who's running against Trump. You've got elections, you've got a lot of volatility. There are no guarantees this is going to go up here and hold. But right now, this is the level that you need to be aware of. And if we stay above this level, then look at the pairs in terms of the Aussie USD, the New Zealand USD, the Canadian dollar, etc. The pairs against the US will remain relatively weak if this makes a move up and retests this area. This is huge potential in here. And will it do it? I don't know. We have to wait. It's all very well for me to have an opinion, but the reality is my opinions are only my opinions until the market verifies that I've got it right. So here's the bottom that I'm looking for. If we get down here and we get a significant bullish signal, something like this here, off this support area, I will consider going long. And you can see it in the daily time frame. There's just nothing here right now. If you like trend lines, run your trend line down through here and just watch for the break. Just because this is a historical low doesn't mean to say it can't come lower. It can. I would love to see this come down, go back up, form a right shoulder, and bloody, yada, yada, yada. But don't get sucked in to all the hype that's out there. Good common sense approach to the market will keep you safe. Okay. CAD Swiss. I've been banging on about this. I'm looking for a bottom. Let's go to the monthly and just check it out. I know we don't trade off a monthly, but we have an ascending kind of a wedge going on. Right now, I'm just watching because this here is a key level. And it can do anything. It's the market is very just unpredictable right now, but just common sense stuff here, I think you'd agree with me, is a decent support area, and we will look to buy off here. That's what I'm looking at, and I've tried several times. I've tried here, and this was another one, and this was another one, this was another one, this was another one, this was another one. All of them yielded some nickels and dimes, but we could not get past this area here. And until we do, we could be just locked in this range. So guard your profits. Doesn't matter what patterns you see. Trade what the market gives you. CAD JPY, no trade at the moment. This is looking promising, and here is a key area of support and resistance. We'll come back down to the daily in a minute. We'll take those, I'll leave those on there for a minute, but this is what I'm watching. Okay, this was the move up. It was a beautiful move up, but now we are at key resistance. This was the trade in here that we got last week. Could have gone earlier with the break of the trend line. It's just simple, common sense trading. There's your trade entry. And if you had held on this over the last 3 weeks, you would have made a nice, healthy profit of 200 pips. Now we're at this key inflection point again. What is it going to do? Let's go and have a look at the big time frame. Pull them up. You can see that price struggles here. So in order for me to believe that we've got a true reversal, we need to have it close above this area. Swiss JPY, still just going sideways. Just a couple of weeks ago, we took this down. Then it hit key areas of support, and you have to wait to see what it's going to do. It's just safe, sensible trading. This game is winnable. This game is not hard as long as you play by the rules. If we're going to get a significant move up here, we need to get a close above here. So it's just wait and see. Get a close above here and get a good kind of signal like this here, and get a good strong candle. I will be looking at trading it up towards here, but no trade. Euro AUD at key inflection points again. And let's go back to the daily. I think that this is actually a wedge that I marked out. Let's see. Yeah, it is. You can see that it's making higher lows, and it's so far made higher highs. So this is a key inflection point right in here. And if you have a look, you can see where price was reacting at these levels here. Doesn't matter what the fibs say, it doesn't matter what your patterns say. The market's going to decide. Now, I understand that this is more likely to be a bearish scenario. I'm not going to get caught up in that. If I get a close above here, you can see how last part of the month from here up to there has been pulling back. And if we take out all the drawing tools so we can get a decent look at a daily candle change, this is where we're at. Here's key levels through in here. Just go in and mark them. And what I'm looking for is for some sort of pullback to here, and then potential to go north again. But if I get a close below this area, I'll be coming back down and trading into here. At the moment, there is no trade. Euro AUD. Okay, let's go and flip through the Euro pairs. Euro CAD. Very similar. I like this. I'm watching this very, very closely. We've had this beautiful move down here. I hope that you were able to catch it. Whenever you get steep climbs like this, you're always looking for a trade off the tops or off the bottoms. No guarantees, but look at it. This was where your entry would have been. And I hope that you caught some of this. It's just so easy. You could have waited conservatively. Here are your other areas of support and resistance in here. You see a daily candle change with a candle like this. You get all over it. Pending order in there. There was the move. Just simple arithmetic. 194 pips down to there. You could have had 100, 150 out of that. Now it's broken a key resistance. If you had a second position open and held it, all we're waiting for now to see what happens. If we get a retest of this here and a good engulfing candle or good bearish signal, that will be a signal for me to enter again with my stop losses for the new position up here and still holding the second position. Euro Swiss, no trade, looking for the bottom. I'm looking for the bottom. So we've gone along here for nearly two weeks, not quite. Is this the bottom? I hope so. If we have a look at maybe the weekly chart to get an idea of a big picture, you can see that there's a nice trend being established down here. Put your trend line in. Maybe that's where your line in the sand is, and you can have a crack at going for a retest of this level here. Euro pound, no trade. Very similar, just marking. This 83 area for me is very, very key, and I am watching this with interest. I've actually got a couple of pending orders sitting under here. That's what it looks like if we come back to the daily. You can see that it's engulfing candle making a move. Is it going to retest this? Maybe. Is this the bottom? Here's the second time it's been down here. We could just get more weekly behavior that just continues to go sideways. But I'm looking for a bottom. Can it come down here? Absolutely. So just be careful with it. Euro JPY. We had a lovely move up last week. And again, just simple things. Your trend lines. Here was the top and it got down here. Looked like it was turning, and you can see where prices reacted here before. So this was a good one. It was a good trade last week for me. Here's where I put my pending order. And Bob's your uncle. I'm out of it now. We've come up and we've hit this resistance area here. And it's just simple stuff. It's not hard. So no trade at the moment, but let's wait and see if it can offer up something. Euro New Zealand at a key inflection point again. It had a go at coming down. Here's your first impulse move. Back again. There's your wave. Couldn't come past the support area. Several days of indecision, and then it shot back up again. So we have this range being established. So I'm looking this week for another possibility of a trade down. Before I got into a bull trade long term or tried to, I would want to close above this area here. Euro USD. Simple stuff again. We saw a break of 109 and that opened up 108 and it went down and hit it. It just, here it is here. We went just below 108 to 107, I think. Yeah, 107, 600. And now it, for the last couple of days, during the end of the week, last week, it just went sideways here. Now, a lot of news has come out through Forex Factory and that, suggesting that we've hit a bottom and we could be getting some momentum to the upside. Wait and see. Why do I say wait and see? There was the entry you could have taken on Friday and you'd be a few pips up. It's 78 pips, so you might be up 20 or 30 pips with an entry somewhere just in here, which would have been perfectly a sensible, reasonable probability trade. Here's your key levels here. As long as this level of 108, 109 holds, I'm still inclined to think bearish. Pound key areas again. Every single pound pair is at key resistance. It's in an uptrend, but it comes and it hits these key levels. It's done it over and over again as we've been party to the Brexit thing. So we're at a key inflection point here. Here's the key support area where those crosses are. Providing it holds up above there, this could just go sideways easy for the next month, for the next quarter. Wait for the market to confirm. You want to close up here before you try to go long on this pair. Pound Swissy, we've had a pullback. So let's just hang on, I've got the wrong one here. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. So we've had this pullback last week. You can see the indecision candles that are coming in here. What I'm looking for is a bounce off this level. Bearing in mind that this could also come and retest this level here at 125. So at the moment, depending on how market's going to open, no trade. Pound Caddy, very similar. Waiting for this bottom. We talked about it last week. Wednesday, it pulled up with indecision candles. Thursday, had a little bit of a move up. And now we're just waiting to see where this goes. If we remove all the drawing tools and start afresh, I'm really interested to see what happens in and around about here. So after the retest of this range, which was pretty obvious here and just across the top here, I'm looking just to see what happens, looking to retest this level up here, given a good bullish signal. My preference would be a bit of a retest down here, but we don't always get what we want. So keeping an eye on there. Pound Caddy, Pound JPY, at a key inflection point again. All the pound pairs are the same. And you've just got to go and have a look at, let's take a look at the weekly here, and you can get an appreciation of where things are at on the pound yen. This is a key inflection point. You can see where I've made this rectangular box. We need a breakout above or a breakout below, one way or the other. Pound ZE, again, very similar to other pound pairs like the Pound AUD and Pound CAD. You can see if we just scrunch this up a bit, you can see that this area here is a key inflection point. Okay, I'm looking at the monthly, and I know we've got a number of pips here, but be wary around this. If you're in this trade, let me encourage you to take your profits when you hit this, and then wait to see what's going to happen. There's still a lot of volatility around the pound, particularly while the negotiations are going on between UK and the European Union as to exactly what rules they're going to play by with this new relationship that they've entered into. It isn't an uptrend, but this is a very very key area up in here, and we can pull this down here on the daily chart. We can see that it's busted what I consider to be a very key area at 2.04, and it's made a move up. Now we just need to see what happens from here. Retesting a move up would be nice. Pound USD, again, I find it very interesting that with the strengthening in the dollar index through the first part of last week, then it pulled up at the key level here and got a good engulfing candle on Friday. I did not get tempted to take this. Again, just waiting. Here's another key level just in here. So looking either for a bit of a pullback sideways. It should just go sideways for quite a number of days, even weeks. But the key inflection point is this level here and this level here for resistance. So no trade at the moment. Then we go to New Zealand Swissy, and excuse my artistic work, but I want to take you to the monthly here. And here's the reality, guys. We're at historical lows. I really do want to get in on the bottom floor here if the New Zealand Swiss is going to make a move up. Need to just be aware that the Swiss dollar is still fairly strong at the moment, and the New Zealand dollar is still showing weakness. And we can see that this downtrend in the New Zealand dollar against the Swissy has been in play for quite some time, going right back to 2017 and maybe even 2016. We clearly have this range going on here on the weekly chart. So if I come back to daily candle change, we can see that this had a move down last week. It broke the historical lows. And where is this going to end up? I do not know. I have no idea. This thing can go lower. Wait for the market to tell you. I'm looking for a turn here. I would love to get in this long, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I would not be surprised to see the New Zealand Swissy come lower. And now that we've broken this area here, it opens up that 6-1 area. So right now, no trade. I think there's a lot of potential good setups, but again, New Zealand CAD broken down below a key support area last week. It's pulled up again at what I consider to be an inflection point around this area here. On Friday, the daily candle pulled off. So the big question is this a bottom? And we'll have to wait and see. I like that this is very steep through here. And if we have any upwards movement in the New Zealand dollar this week, this could be a nice little scalp back up and a retest of these areas here. So I'm looking at that. New Zealand JPY locked in a range. That until this range is broken, I'm looking for a play from the bottom here, and I'm also looking from a play from the top. It's just barely enough for me to be interested in going top to bottom. No, it's not. It's only 114. I am not doing that. I'm just looking for a bottom. I'm not willing to play this from resistance down at this stage. I can see that this could easily come lower. It has to break this area of support, and then if it does, the target for my first positions, if I were to get into this trade, would be down in here. New Zealand against the USD. A lot of speculation around this pair. Just, be really careful who you listen to. Everybody's got an opinion, but remember that it's only opinions until the market verifies. And we're at a key inflection point down here at 63, 0.63. I'm looking for this to bottom out. I'd love to see it bottom out. We've had a strong move down here since December last year. It's due for a pullback, there's no question. And if we get a pullback, I would be looking, if I go and have a go at trading a pullback, I'd be looking at these areas up in here. But I see no reason or nothing to convince me that this is a reversal. Nowhere near it. So you've got USD caddy, and I know a number of traders have been trading this down, but look at it, we've just got a whole lot of indecision going on. For me, I'd like to see it come down, break this area of 32, 132, and look for a bottom out here, and then try to take it. This is the first move up. Are we going to get a pullback down to here or to here before it goes up? If the US dollar continues to strengthen, it just might go from here. US Swissy. Lovely move down here on Friday. Just could not break this area of resistance. This was the entry, and at the beginning of the week I was still holding. Obviously now I'm out of it. Got stopped out with this. This was the Friday's candle. Now what I'm looking for is a possible chance to buy again somewhere down here. I don't think this is a reversal yet either. USD JPY had a lovely move up. That was a beautiful trade last week. And just want to, it's not doing what I want to do. Sorry guys, there we go. there was the entry there, pending order, and that was a good, what I call a good inefficient move, which is basically what happens is that there's more buyers than sellers, and it creates a vacuum. I did trade this back down on Friday from off the top here, and now I'm out of it. We've got an indecision candle here. This is a very critical level for this pair. Some people are suggesting that it's going to move up from 111. We'll have to wait and see. But I am looking for a good bullish signal and possibly another attack of 112 and higher. Now here was the big mover, gold. I just couldn't help but laugh. Everybody's going, the US dollar's strengthening, so gold's got to come down. Ha ha ha. Look what happened. This was the entry here, and away we went. And look where it went to. And this, I believe, is based on the coronavirus, with the increase of reported incidents, and it's starting to spread around the globe. In my mind, this was a result of people going into safe havens towards the end of the week. Where to from here is anybody's guess. The market is open at the moment. Let's just have a look. Oh wait, this was a really, really, really key area. And if you go and have a look at the monthly, it presents it real nice. I was talking to some traders and said that we're likely to get a retest of 1700, and we have. Now I'm looking for this level to hold, and I'm looking for some sort of pullback. The latest with the coronavirus, and I haven't checked the latest news today, is that it's starting to spread globally in different places. So I'm watching this area at the moment. I'm out of my trades and sitting on the sidelines and watching this with interest. I see today so far that it's pulled off the 1700 area, and I'm looking for some hint of the start of a pullback. We don't have it yet, but if we get it, let's just go down and see what's happening on the hourly. I'm just curious. No, lots of indecision candles. This is real telltale sign here, back off 1680 area, just below the 1700. There's a gap here. If there's going to be a pullback, this would be my target in here. So I'm going to be watching that. Silver hasn't really done too much. It did make a move up. This was your pending order area here, but it hasn't done anything to excite it. It's not been able to crack higher than 1880, and look, it's been pulling back. So going to be watching this with interest. Dollar index, let's just check that. Hello, it's come back today or over the weekend, and this is the key area. We talked about this last week. I'm looking for some sort of pullback, some sort of turnaround. If we get this and we get some strength again this week, I'll be looking at pairs like the New Zealand USD, Aussie USD, looking for those pairs to go lower against the US dollar. Okay, well, that wraps it up. And there is money to be made out there, and you've just got to be careful, got to be sensible. Please protect your capital and stay safe out there, traders. Don't get greedy. You get a few pips, lock them in. Play it safe, and please be careful what rhetoric or what chatter you are listening to. I'm not one that follows the crowd by any stretch of the imagination, and this dollar index is really at a significant inflection point. And so if we can get up above this 99 area, and we can have a retest of back up here at 102. easy. So I'm watching this with interest. And if we just come back to the daily chart, you can get a feel for right now today. It's come back, but I'm looking for the bounce of these key areas. So with that said, happy pip hunting this week. Any questions, slip them into the chat room, and I'll put the Slack in the chat room. And happy pip hunting, and we'll talk to you during the week. Cheers.